right, this email here, and if you got drama going on in your life, you got to hit us up, especially if it's like this, right? She knows it's illegal, but she's allowing her husband to do something with their son, and she's not exactly sure if it's right or not, even though it's illegal. Is her husband's heart in the right place or not? So, again, if you got something like this going on in your life, you want to share it with us, we turn around, we share it with Bert Show fam. Hit us at thebertshow.com. She writes, I know it's illegal, but is my husband's heart in the right place? First, I know the first obvious answer is going to be, it's illegal. So can your listeners get past that before we even start? Okay. All right.
She talking about our listeners or us?
All of the above.
Yep.
No.
My son is 16. He's been honest with us by telling us that some of his friends have started showing up at basketball practice on weekend mornings hungover. They are sick, she writes. They are 16! Exclamation point. Now, this isn't a question of me going to their parents and telling them. My son told us he started to wonder what alcohol is like because he hears so many at school talking about parties. In hearing that, my husband has been introducing our son to alcohol. He feels like if our son experiments with it with him, he'll be better equipped at parties, etc. We have not told our son he's not allowed to drink. We think by making it off limits, it'll just make him more curious. So from time to time, they'll sit down, watch a game, and sip different drinks. So one weekend, they had a few beers. One weekend, they had some wine. One weekend, it was a vodka, etc. You get it. I have mixed feelings about it. Any input? 1-855-BERT Show.
Woo.
Y'all are cowards.
Oh, man.
I'm not a coward. This is that. No. I would love to get somebody on who specializes in parenting, and I'm not saying that one way to parent is the right way, but I don't feel like this seems appropriate.
I'll say this. I'm not encouraging it. I wouldn't do it, but I've seen it work. Mm-hmm. I do know a parent who uses this tactic, and they do not shy away from it. But with all of their children, the first time that they had some curiosity about alcohol, he got them really, really drunk and on purpose.
Yeah.
To scare them away. And they don't drink today as adults.
So my dad did this to me also. But I've told you guys, my dad was the GOAT of bad fathers. So he had a whole bunch of people around, having a party one night, and I asked about alcohol. And I must have been like a freshman, maybe 8th grade, and asked him about it, and he did the same thing. I just remember sitting at one end of the table and trying to focus on everybody else. That hammered, right? That I would not endorse. I don't know if I'm just being progressive here or if it's dangerous, but I'm trying to put myself in a situation with my 15-year-old who now is at that age where his friends are starting to drink. I will not confirm or deny if he has dabbled in it or not, but me sitting down with him, watching a soccer match and having him try a beer for the first time, and then the next weekend trying wine or seeing what vodka tastes like for him. I haven't done it, but I can see the dad's wisdom in it.
No, hard no, man. I mean, that drinking is unhealthy. And like for a young developing brain, I just feel like
you're going to do it anyway. That's what I'm saying, man. It's happening all around him.
Like nobody should drink because it's not good for you.
Right, right. It's actually the worst thing you could do. It hurts every cell in your body. This I know. But look, embracing that, the logic of it and the reality of it is it's not going to be healthy when he's drinking with his friends. Also, would understanding how to handle that while he's with a parent, I understand what his intent is. Hey, Cass.
So I was one of these kids, because in Europe, in some countries, you can drink as young as 16 with your parents, like a beer at a pub. And my parents are British, and my whole family's from over there. So I grew up like Thanksgiving, we'd have a couple of sips of wine. I would make cocktails for my parents, and like I'd try the cocktail. I mean, at the age of like 16, 17, but I wouldn't drink the whole thing. And I didn't drink at all in high school, but I still went nuts in college. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that exposure to alcohol like that is going to stop a kid from drinking a ton, whether they're in high school or college. But from what I've seen, what will is being the type of parent who says, listen, no matter what happens, I want you to know you can call me and I will come and pick you up, and it is a safe place. Never get in a car drunk. I will come and pick you up. We will talk about it the next morning. You will not get in trouble. Endorsing that kind of stuff and letting your teen know, like, no matter what happens, because that's what you really want to avoid: alcohol poisoning and death in a car. Like, you don't want them drinking at all. They're going to do it. But what you want to do is put safe parameters in place so they don't do those other things, and they know they can come to you as a safe resource.
Stephanie, good morning. You are part of the Bert Show. You got a dad here dabbling and drinking with his 16-year-old. They're not getting drunk. He's just letting them see what it's all about.
Good morning. I did this with my daughters. They're all of age now, so CPS don't come for me. And it actually worked out. It built open communication about alcohol, exactly like Cassie just said. They knew that they could call me. I never actually did. They didn't actually ever have to call me where they were out and they got too drunk or anything like that. And they all have a pretty healthy relationship with drinking now that they're their own adults and their own people.
I appreciate you calling. Sarah says, look at the science! 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 Hey, Sarah, good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
So I agree with what Cassie was saying about just, having that open-minded communication with your kids is so important so they feel safe to come to you with these kind of things. But with, the reward and reinforcement system is a really complicated thing, and really introducing alcohol and drugs, things that alter us at a young age, kind of teaches the brain to be more dependent on these things. So I know girls who their parents let them drink younger, and they just went balls to the walls in college. So it's kind of, 50-50.
Yeah, I guess
it's a gamble.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Good morning, Essence. You're on the Bert Show. Hi.
Hey, guys. Hey, okay. So I did this with my eldest daughter. I didn't introduce it to her like, hey, have a drink. It was more so like she had come home one time, and I knew she was drunk. And I said, okay, how do you feel? And she's like, I feel like crap. I said, okay, well, tomorrow you'll feel better. Well, the next day I went and I made her drink. And I did. She's an adult, 27. Don't nobody call nobody on me. But I made her drink. And I asked her, I said, now how do you feel? She said, I still feel like crap. I said, exactly. When you do anything in excess, even food, it can hurt you. So I controlled her environment. But I would not say, don't introduce it to your kid like they're not asking. If they're asking, fine. You're going to have to do it because they're going to do it anyway. Kids are too nosy. But at the same time, you have to be very careful in controlling the scenario and the scene. Don't make it feel like it's a party. Don't play music. Don't have balloons. It's not that. I want you to see what it feels like when you're vodka drunk the next morning. Period.
That was a great call. Thank you for calling. And Ashley, good morning.
Hey, so my mom ended up doing this with me, and my friends were about 15 or 16 because they were begging her to buy us some alcohol. So she did one night. She's like, fine, I'll do it. And we ended up getting so sick, we never wanted to drink again. I'm now 26 and I barely drink.
Okay.
So.
All right, thank you. And Cass, one more time.
I was just going to say, we wouldn't really do this with anything else. Like with hard drugs, kids are exposed to that stuff. You wouldn't give them some micro doses of that. I know some people have done it with cigarettes, but that's a hard line for me. I'd never do that. So I don't know why the alcohol is the exception, just because people drink it socially, but I'd say stay far away from that.
The Bert Show. Like what you just watched? Well, you can get a lot more of The Bert Show for free on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.